Welcome back to Market Headlines. Healthcare has undergone rapid transformation since the start of COVID-19 pandemic, including how healthcare services are delivered. And right now, healthcare providers tend to care patients remotely, and this trend is called telemedicine. Modern technology has enabled doctors to consult patients by using one single click on application. This thing, so-called as telemedicine. Telemedicine is simply defined as the remote delivery of healthcare services. And so far, there are common types of telemedicine. Interactive medicine, which allow patients and physicians to communicate in real time, and there is store and forward, which permits provider to give medicine, and there is also remote patient caring, which allows remote caregivers to give services to the door. To support telemedicine, Ministry of Health has also collaborated with Indonesia Telemedicine Association, whose members are many startups in the health services sector to improve the quality of digital health services. From all sources for IDX Channel. And yes, viewers, COVID-19 economic consequences has bring huge and impactful to Indonesia's economy nowadays. But when we talk about sectorals, there are sectors that hit its lowest point in the midst of pandemic, such as, you name it, hospitality industry and tourism industry. But in the other hand, there are sectors that have a good perspective and shine bright like a diamond. First of all, like logistic industry and also healthcare sector. And when we talk about healthcare sector, of course, there are so many profit that to be taken in the midst of pandemic. And now we are going to have deeper discussions about healthcare industry in Indonesia. And specifically, we are going to talk about healthcare startup in the midst of pandemic that is quite hype right now. And right now, live via Zoom, we are to have deeper discussions with the CEO of Chaplab Indonesia, Ivan Sinarsa. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hey, hello Clara. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm really good. Thank you for asking. So, sir, Ivan, as the founder of Chaplab ID, I want to know your perspective regarding the emerging of the healthcare startup in Indonesia.
Yeah, of course. For me, this is a really big moment for healthcare startups because, in my opinion, anything they can fulfill the patient's needs from their home or with minimum physical contact is very crucial. Example, we receive many requests for infusions of people from home. For example, the elderly who suddenly feel weak. Sometimes after telemedicine with the doctors, they need the IV injection in home because going to the hospital is very risky for them.
All right, so as we know that it's really remotely active and it's really crucial for people nowadays in COVID-19 pandemic because they don't want to move actually. And I just want to know your perspective as well. Since when do you think that the emergence of this healthcare startup begins? Is it before the pandemic or it is in the pandemic?
Actually, it's not because of the pandemic. The emergence of the healthcare startup is it's all like a cycle. Like if we can see in the US, there's e-commerce era, fintech era, and then healthcare era. According to this pattern, Indonesia has started the healthcare era around a year ago. But we must admit that COVID pandemic is really encouraging digitalization. So that's the growth of the healthcare startups is rising right now.
Oh, I see. So it just started earlier before the pandemic, right? And so I want to know, there are a lot of competitors in this area in the healthcare startup in Indonesia because it's currently a hype right now. So what actually the differences between Chaplab ID with other competitors?
Yeah, actually we don't want to preview the others as the competitors, but we need to collaborate with everyone because we are facing the biggest crisis in the world. It's like COVID pandemic, right? Indonesia must be one with not competitors. Different from most healthcare startups, Chaplab ID focus on infrastructures such as good nurses who are ready to come to your home anytime, a strong logistic system that can supply nurses with a new protective gear at every address.
Oh, well, good luck for enhancing the infrastructure of CheckLab ID. And I want to know your market segmentations about CheckLab ID.
Sorry?
Market segmentations of the CheckLab ID.
Oh, yeah. Currently, we focus on companies that need to have their employees checked. Mothers who want to have their household assistance member who coming from the village check, and our medical friends that need to have their family checked regularly.
Oh, I see. Is there any age segmentations that CheckLab put in, such as the elderly or maybe the youngsters?
Oh, no, because in our segmentations, it's on productive age, like 25 up.
Oh, I see. And then when we talk about CheckLab ID collaborations, do you have any collaborations with laboratorium in Indonesia?
Yeah, of course. CheckLab ID has collaborated with many large laboratories, one of which is Kalbe Economics, Kimia Pharma, and the National Hospitals.
All right. So where does actually people can find CheckLab ID in Indonesia? Is there so many locations?
So right now, our service is open in Jabodetabek and Surabaya, but next we will expand it to Semarang, Bandung, and Medan.
All right.
You just can access www.checklab.id.
All right, so we would like to announce that to the viewers as well. And also, when we talk about the expansion, what is it about the expansions of CheckLab ID? Do you have any idea to expand? Is it to open up more services, or maybe it's to put much better infrastructure?
I see. Our aim is to being more solid in our infrastructures, because we think if we get the infrastructure ready, the collaborators like Halodoc or Doctor can come and join us too. So we are planning to initiate our own laboratory, which is in discussion stage with investors. This laboratory is full of new normal innovations that minimize contact with patients.
Oh, I see, sir. But when we talk about further expansions has a closest link to the financing. And when we talk about financing, all companies need funding to expand their business. So what do you have in mind to CheckLab ID for making a funding?
Yeah, currently we are still in bootstrap era. So the capital is from me and my partner, Dr. Cesar Givani. We are currently raising for Series A funding.
I see, sir. And talk about funding, there are a lot of methods that you can implement to your company, and one of them is making your company into the IPO. So do you have any in mind for making your company into IPO?
Yes, of course. So if all our plans is run smoothly, after several private funding, we will open the IPO in 3 years.
All right, sir. And when we talk about IDX Incubator, I heard that CheckLab ID is right now in the IDX Incubator. So how is it going?
Oh, it's going very great, because like IDX Incubator give us everything. Knowledge, if we need to, we have to expand in some expertise. IDX Incubator will help us and give us the expertise that need in the market. It's a very helpful.
All right, sir. Sir, time is up. Thank you for your time with us. We do really appreciate that, and thank you for making a positivity for our healthcare industry in Indonesia.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Have a nice evening, sir.
Have a nice evening too, Clara.
And yes, viewers, stay tuned to Market Headlines, because we will be right back with the news coverage after this break.